Culture swap.
Culture swap. Swap my culture. I don't know why I didn't respond with the correct response the first time there, Liam. I apologise.
Don't worry about it. What did we do, Jack?
Liam, this time we watched Before Sunrise. One of your favourite films?
It's up there.
Question mark?
It is up there, yeah.
We watched that.
Yeah.
Liam, do you want to give a brief sort of synopsis of what the film is?
Can I give the synopsis as if I'm you?
No, because I know what my synopsis would be, and it won't be helpful.
Yeah.
Do your synopsis, and then you can do what you think my synopsis
I have
would
a better idea. I'll do the synopsis as you, and then you do the synopsis as me.
Okay, go on then. All right.
So this is the synopsis through the eyes of Jack. Oh, it's just two people we met on a train, innit? And then they walked around for a night.
That's pretty accurate.
There we go.
Okay, I'll do my synopsis as you, Liam.
Yeah.
Jack's right.
No, that's not what I would say.
Damn it. This film is about a young man on a train meeting a woman, and they fall madly in love, and it's a beautiful story of him growing and becoming an adult whilst also walking around Vienna for a night. I'll be honest, Liam, I didn't like the film, so I can't do a good synopsis.
I mean, it was closer, but
that's what I mean. I genuinely didn't care, I think, is the issue. So can you please tell me what yours... That's why I wanted you to say your synopsis.
All right.
Because I can't find
film,
a good story
here we go. This film is about watching two people fall in love, but not in a typical rom-com-y, they get into these hilarious situations and none of that typical standard rom-com bullshit. I would say it's a much more genuine, honest portrayal of just two people meeting and maybe not even necessarily falling in love, but falling for each other.
I got bored when you were saying that.
Well, this is going to be a fun culture swap for you then.
Yeah, basically what this felt like to me, Liam, was that you tricked me into watching a sort of mumblecore. It's not mumblecore, and I'll accept that. But what you did was you very carefully picked a film that uses the bits of mumblecore that I hate, and it uses them in a non-mumblecore way. So what effectively happened, Liam, is I came out of this film, and I was like, I didn't hate it as much as I hated mumblecore, but I didn't enjoy it.
I think I even mentioned in the last episode there are traces of mumblecore in this. So this film came out before the mumblecore movement, so you could almost look at this as the granddaddy of mumblecore.
Yeah, so I don't know why you suggested it for me, really.
Because I thought, I know deep down. So you put out to this world this tough exterior,
I just said that I love Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe not.
You're my name's Jack Kempster. I can make it on my own. I don't need no woman. And what I thought you might tap into with this film is the romantic honesty of it. And I genuinely...
No, because it's not romantically honest.
I genuinely thought...
You think that that's a true portrayal of two people falling in love, or falling for each other, meeting on a train, him literally within, 30 minutes being just come off the train with me, and a girl going, yeah, alright. That doesn't feel realistic to me.
I thought you would... I thought you would go one of either two ways. The way that you've clearly chosen to go, which is unfortunate.
I've not chosen! It's not an active choice! I genuinely sat down with you telling me this film was good, not thinking it was going to be a mumblecore-esque thing, and being I think I'm going to enjoy this film. Because from your descriptions of it before, it sounded really interesting.
How did I describe it before?
The fact that you had said... It was basically the fact that you said that there was this 9-year gap in between the three films.
Well, yeah, but... so you'd need to...
No. So that made me then interested, because I was like, oh, okay, well that means that the film, director and stuff really care about this film and have made this real effort.
Yeah.
Instead of just being pushed by a studio and being fine, we'll release another film in 2 years. They really care.
Yeah.
So then that makes me interested, because I'm like, oh, this is something that people really liked making, wanted to make more of.
Yeah.
But it's clearly
a passion
not for
project.
Me. Yeah, but it's clearly I don't share their passion.
Yeah, it's probably one of the lowest grossing trilogies ever made.
That's understandable. Not from it was bad, but also with a 9-year gap. A lot of people probably weren't sitting there going, I hope they wait 9 years.
Okay, genuinely, I would implore you to try the second... let me say...
Does it get better?
The second film is only 80 minutes long. So even if you don't like it, it's a little over an hour of your time you're giving to it.
Yeah, but I've got Mass Effect to play.
I know, but Jack, I would be very curious for your thoughts on the second film. Because
Tell me honestly,
yeah.
is it better than this film?
I don't personally think it is. However, what I find interesting is, so if you look at the 3 films in total, I think depending on what your preference of those 3 films are, says a lot about who you are.
Right.
So Mark, for example, who I often point to when it comes to film things, because I consider him as like, not necessarily an expert, but as damn close to an expert as you'll get when it comes to films.
Is he like you are to me?
Yeah.
To you?
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
Exactly. His favourite is the second film, if I'm remembering rightly.
Okay.
And, I would wonder if you would have that preference as well, because I think the first film, right, is very much like a romantic... I love, and it's one of the things I like about Mumblecore, is watching these characters figure each other out, okay? Obviously, with the second film, it's the same characters, so you don't necessarily have that figuring out. And it's a bit more, without spoiling too much, there's a bit, like a little drop of bitterness in it.
Okay.
And that sort of warps slightly the relationship between the 2 characters. And again, I'm trying to be very careful with what I say, because I don't want to give any spoilers, because what you maybe think has happened in the 9 years that passed hasn't necessarily happened.
Okay.
So let's remove ourselves from, Before Sunset. Just, I would very much ask of you to just give it a go.
Fine, maybe.
And if you turn around and you say, I hated Before Sunset, I would 100% recommend you do not watch Before Midnight.
Okay.
But back to Before Sunrise.
Yeah, I want to be clear, I didn't hate this film.
Yeah. Okay, let's start then. What did you like about it?
I want to be clear, Liam.
Yeah.
I didn't hate this film.
Yeah. So...
I didn't like a lot of this film either. Oh, I don't know, mate. Like... I liked the main female character, Celine.
Celine, yeah.
She was fine.
Did you not find yourself, like, falling for her a little bit yourself? No? Just me?
How do you mean? Like...
I
didn't.
There's a
do you want to
couple
know
of
why?
scenes that I can point to that I'm just like, I just loved. Go on, tell me why.
I took, again, one of my issues, I think it's weird, because the issues that I have with these sort of films...
Yeah.
Are issues that I think, from what we talk about on this show...
Yeah.
They are the issues that I think people would think you had
right.
with this sort of thing. So you traditionally on this show have hated teenagers and sort of young adults for some of the bullshit they do.
Wait.
Right?
Oh, what, like in real life?
Yeah, in real life, you're like, oh, teenagers, God.
Yeah, but I love coming of age films.
Young adults who are arrogant and young. I'm 30 and I'm gonna.
Well, fuck off! I'm not 30, dickhead.
I'm 29.
Yeah.
Sorry, Liam. Anyway,
now,
like, I hated, right? It honestly annoys me.
Yeah.
And I do it. So that listeners just gives you a look into how I think about myself. Okay. But when people have these like deep in air quotes philosophical discussions.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like, especially when it's sort of done in this like, I can't believe I'm the only person to think of this. I think that's what it is. Is I've had the thoughts that he's telling her. All these deep... I can't even fucking remember some of the examples. Oh, what does he say? He's like... when he's like... there's something about the population of the planet... Oh, do you believe in reincarnation?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I do. Like, real casually, yes, I do. Oh, okay, sorry. Is that just sort of established that we're all very casual about reincarnation? Fine. Yeah. I'll accept that, whatever.
Yeah.
But then he's like, yeah, so if there's 10,000... If we started with 2 million souls, and then a few, years later there were 1 million souls, and then... Now there's between 5 and 7 billion souls. Where did all the souls come from? Like, and you're sitting there and I'm like, you know what, mate? That's not smart, because the people that genuinely believe in reincarnation and like religiously believe in it would say to you, well, either those souls weren't created, or there were always those souls, they were just waiting for bodies, or perhaps those souls were animals, which they believe in some, I think, Buddhism believes that there's, you can actually be an animal for part of your, your soul could be an animal. So there's answers, Liam. So it's not a smart question, but he pretends it is. And later on he calls himself out on it, Liam, and he says, oh, I've heard all my pretend smart things before. And I was like, you arrogant dick, chill out.
Can I interject with a very slight, like, off-topic thing that I should have mentioned in catching up with, but I forgot?
Yeah, go for it.
Right, my favourite moment from Mother's Day yesterday, I was out with my mum, and I was trying on some walking shoes, okay?
Yeah.
And I had a guy...
You had a fun Mother's Day.
Huh?
Nothing, carry on.
I had a guy who was helping me with this. Really friendly guy, real helpful. The issue is I apparently have like quite narrow, shallow feet.
Oh, you have I have wide feet.
And apparently I always have trouble like buying shoes, and I think this might be why. And so this guy was like, I like to get things right on the second try. We were on like the 5th shoe at this point, and he was getting kind of like, he was fretting, okay, because he clearly cared.
Did he?
Yeah, like he genuinely.
Why?
I don't know. But then there was a fly buzzing around, right, and it landed in front of my mum, and she stomped on it, and he looked at it, and he looked at her.
No.
And he had like the saddest look on his face. And he went, "Did you just kill that fly?" And she went, "No, my foot slipped." And he went, "No, it didn't. You just stomped on that fly." And she went, "Yeah." And his face was honestly crestfallen. And he went, "I'm a Buddhist. I don't believe in that sort of thing." And my mum's response was, "Well, you can try and give it mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, but I don't think it'll work."
I'm starting to see why you're a dickhead.
And genuinely, I was trying not to laugh.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like he was. Like, at one point, I genuinely thought he was going to do some sort of like funeral ceremony for this fly.
I mean,
he just seemed so
understand
upset.
him. I'm not a Buddhist, but I don't kill things if I don't have to.
Yeah, well, my mum don't give a fuck.
Yeah, apparently not. Your mum just stomps the life out of everything.
I know, and I was just like, this guy was being so helpful, and it's like,
and then your mum's just like,
the worst thing you could have possibly done to thank him for it. Anyway, that should have gone in Catching Up With. That would have been quite a good little... Instead of my boring nothingness that happened.
Yeah, what a good story that was. You idiot.
Well, this just goes to show, right? If people only listen for Catching Up With and they don't listen to the rest of the episode, they've just missed out on a nugget.
Exactly.
Back to Before Sunrise.
Yeah, I was having issues with the suit, the like, we're smart people, but we're not really.
Yeah, no, I get...
Go on.
Right,
Rebuke me.
I'm not rebuting. I get what you're saying.
Okay.
But like you said, you've had those thoughts. I think... Those thoughts, the reason why the film works is because we've, like, some of us, we've been that age. We've had those thoughts ourselves, and we know...
Wait, what were you saying? How old are they meant to be?
No. So you're like that age, right?
How old are they?
24.
So yeah, I'm like...
Around
1
that
year
age.
older than them.
Yeah, exactly. But equally, I think, so those that have gone past that age can look back and go, oh, he's acting like the dickhead that I was acting like at that age, but at that age it felt so earnest.
No. See, those thoughts don't make you a dickhead. Having that conversation in the way that he had it is what makes him a dickhead.
Yeah, but I'll be honest, I much preferred her character to his. I still liked his character.
Yeah.
But that's just... And again, I don't know if that's necessarily a gender thing watching the film. I would be very curious to see a female perspective on this film. I tried to get Kat to watch it to provide that.
But why would gender change the way you think about someone?
Because I wonder if...
I didn't watch this film, Liam, and just spend the entire time being like, I would love to marry Celine.
No, but that's not what I'm saying. So, for someone like me and you, right, we watch this, it's a lot easier for us to put ourselves in his shoes than hers. Because, let's be honest, we're not going to have a guy come up to us on the train, most likely, and ask to spend the night walking around Vienna with him.
Incorrect. I have had a man come up to me on a train and offer me a bar of chocolate once. So he was also homeless, and I think thought I was homeless. So I've had this experience, Liam.
Have you, though?
Yeah, he gave me that bar of chocolate, and I got the fuck off the train and threw it in a bin in case he'd poisoned it.
Right, but so that wasn't really romantic then. But do you see what I'm saying? It's
might have been to him.
It's easier for us to put ourselves in his place than hers.
Sure.
And I, honestly, for a woman, she might equally find it easier to put herself in his than hers, but I would just be curious if that is the case, and if that would affect your reading of the film.
But I think you'd still think this guy was a dickhead.
100% possibly, but for me...
I mean, she's also a dickhead.
The reason why I love this film is I just enjoyed spending time with these two characters. Like, yeah, they're not perfect, they're not the most likeable, they're not the most funny, but I enjoyed seeing them. The way their like friendship, relationship evolved over the course of the film, that awkward like first stages to that like there's a scene that Kat said just really annoying, but I actually really like, where they're in a listening booth listening to a song, and they're both
doing the like glances. Yeah,
like we've been there. We can relate to that. It might be annoying to watch it.
Did you and Kat sit in a listening booth at a record shop?
Nah.
No, you didn't.
Not exactly.
You just grinded all up on her at a club. And I know that, because I was there.
And she loved it. Obviously.
Clearly.
Alright, so maybe my experiences weren't as romantic. Doesn't mean in my head they weren't. In my head, we was in a listening booth, grinding.
Got you.
But like, so that awkwardness, then the first kiss, which is just so awkward. So incredibly awkward. But I could relate to that.
Yeah.
Because I had a...
But here's the... So here's the thing then. Like, this isn't me having to go at you or the film. I'm going into my... We've both clearly got different views on this.
Yeah.
So I genuinely want to understand, right?
Yes.
Is it because it's the same reason that you liked Mumblecore and I don't like Mumblecore, right?
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of spending an hour and 40 minutes watching someone else have a regular experience. Like, the reason I prefer sci-fi and fantasy films is it's escapism. I'm escaping into this fictitious world that's full of awesomeness and coolness.
Yeah.
Like, I even like romantic films if they're not like just the boring day-to-day life of someone. I mean, the day these two have isn't hugely boring, which is why I didn't hate this film as much as Mumblecore.
Yeah.
But like, I don't understand how people can want to watch just a regular thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, and clearly you do. So I want to understand why you want to see that, because I don't.
It's interesting. It's an interesting question, and I see where you're coming. Right, I don't know the exact answer. I've never like self-analysed myself to try and figure that out because I think it would be scary.
Nope. Yeah,
but one potential reason, as someone who does watch a lot of films, it could be it's a nice, refreshing break from all of the escapism.
You're escaping from the escapism.
Yeah, with a little slice of reality.
Yeah.
The other thing I like is and this applies to Mumblecore. I would like it to apply to this, but maybe not. I like the relatability to it, because you think even in like escapist films, they always try to have a character that the audience can relate somewhat to. That's why there's always these issues about diversity, because essentially, you know, you want the audience to be able to relate, and you want a wide audience to relate. So I guess, like, especially with Mumblecore, you think a lot of Mumblecore is about the post college lifestyle, trying to figure out your place in the world, get a job, etc., etc. Relatable. This to me is a little bit more like fantasy, in all honesty.
Yes, because it's more unreal. Like, this wouldn't happen to me and you.
But equally, I love the idea. And here we go. Let's do a massive like circle and tie everything in nicely together. You were saying, what should we do together on weekends?
I'm not going to meet you on a train and then ask you to walk around for a night with me.
No, but we could go on a train. Like, I like the idea of going on a train into Europe somewhere and just seeing who we might meet.
Yeah, but the issue is I know what me and you are like. We wouldn't meet anyone. We'd get on the train, Liam. We'd go to Paris.
Yeah.
We'd get coffee in a coffee shop, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
And then we'd wander around Paris not talking to anyone.
Yeah, but that would still be romantic.
I don't want to have a romantic weekend with you.
Why not?
I mean, it'd be funny to film, so maybe.
Exactly. There we go. That's one of the things we should do one weekend.
Okay, I'm in.
Awesome. That was the whole reason why I wanted to get you to watch this film, so I could pitch that idea and get you on board.
Fair enough. It's worked.
Yeah. But no, genuinely, I just, like, okay, I wouldn't say I loved the characters, but I loved seeing the characters together and seeing that relationship develop. That's where I derived the fun of it. My absolute favourite scene from it, and the moment where, you know how I've said in the past, like, you wait for a moment where the film just clicks for you and you kind of go, right, yeah, I do love this film.
Yep.
That moment for me is the scene where they're in like a pub, I think it is, a sort of pub place, and they're doing the pretend phone calls. Like, they're pretending to ring back to someone back home to explain, you know, why
where they are.
Yeah.
Why
loved that scene. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was a scene where, especially with Celine, like Julie Delpy's character, I was like, oh, I love her. She's amazing. I want to meet her on a train. Sorry, Kat.
Got you.
But yeah, honestly though, try Before Sunset.
Yeah, maybe. I'm just worried that it's going to be more of the same and you're not going to like the fact that I don't like it.
I don't... Like I said, I thought it would go one of two ways with you liking this or not liking it. And while I am disappointed, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. What I'm most worried about with the way things like this portray me is, it's like how you complain that when I suggest anime and stuff, you're like, well, you've shown me all these shit ones that I don't like.
Yeah.
Right? But you haven't fully given up on the idea of anime. You've just you've decided that it's because my taste in anime isn't yours, right?
Yes, exactly.
That's what I think I'm also worried about is, like, I love rom-coms and romantic films and stuff like that. But the ones that you have picked so far in Nerd on Nerd tend to have been more on the mumblecore side, right?
Yeah.
Like, we've not really done a rom-com, I don't think.
No.
Like a traditional style one.
Not really.
But, like, so I'm then worried that portrays me in, like, this like, oh, Jack only loves the alien films and fantasy films, when in reality, I like a lot of films. It's just that I don't like these sort of films.
Yeah, and I think this is a good way to be like I said, this is definitely, you can see Mumblecore drawing its roots from this.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you don't like this, obviously you're not going to like Mumblecore.
But then I liked Jeff in Real Life, or whatever it was called.
Jeff Who Lives at Home.
That's the one.
Okay, but that's the thing about Mumblecore, right? Is essentially it's a bad description for a movement of films. So while there are like a collective group that are very talky and very like relationships and stuff, there are others that are like Jeff Who Lives at Home that are like drinking buddies, which is one that I do think you would like. If we were to do another Mumblecore in the future, that's the one I'd suggest we do. Your Sister's Sister is another Mumblecore that it has more plot to it, which is I think what you're wanting out of these.
Yeah, that's true. I do like story.
Yeah, whereas I'm quite happy to have like a movie that's an hour 30, hour 40 that just puts plot to one side and just focuses on characters.
Just watching. Yeah, there's like not story arcs per se. It's more like
and equally
there is development, which is so there's like the character development
that
happens. Obviously, their relationship changes and grows and whatever.
Yeah, and I think that's the key thing about this film and this trilogy is it is all about change. So that's I think why it's so interesting that the sequel is 9 years later, and those 9 years have passed in real time. So the actors are 9 years on. They've obviously worked together 9 years ago. So in the fabric of the sequel, you have history built into it, which is why I think it's so interesting to look at from that sort of perspective. Because
I genuinely find that idea fascinating, like leaving 9 years between the shooting of the film to actually make it. Like that to me is interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
I just wish it had been an alien film, Liam.
Well, that's the thing. Imagine, right? They could have turned this film around, okay? At the end, Celine could have looked at Jessie and she'd gone, I'm a ex-Solomon from planet Numina. Yep. And you'd be like, what? Amazing.
Yeah, that would have blown my mind.
Yeah, but no.
They went for the boring old, she's a regular human being.
Exactly. But, if we ever make a Mumblecore chat, maybe that's our differentiate.
Have there ever been any Mumblecore like sci-fi films?
Yes, there was one I watched not too long ago called Mars.
Okay.
It was really annoying in that they rotoscoped the whole thing, and they really didn't need to.
Yeah. So
it was bloody annoying to watch, but it was basically about two people on a space mission to Mars falling in love.
Got you. Okay.
As a Mumblecore is bound to be.
Yeah. Is that do you have anything you want to say about Before Sunrise?
Has hearing my thoughts on it, like, do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I do genuinely get more. I think in this conversation, as opposed to our last like Mumblecore one, I sort of understand more where you're coming from with your like joy. And to be fair, watching this film, I was watching and I was like, I can see why Liam likes this film.
Okay,
like
it's just not for you.
It's just that I wanted to understand more. Yeah, it's not for me, and I wanted to fully understand why. Like, I knew that you would like it, but like I couldn't figure out what it was that meant that. Do you know what I mean? How
did this compare to 50 Shades of Grey?
This is better than 50 Shades of Grey.
Okay, well that's a start.
I mean, yeah, it was. Like I said, I've sounded more like I really hated this film, but I didn't.
Yeah,
I wasn't sitting there bored the whole time. I was just sort of indifferent the whole time.
Okay. Well,
whereas with 50 Shades, I was aware that I didn't like it, and with Blue is the Warmest Colour in the Mumblecore film,
mutual appreciation.
Like, that's it, mutual appreciation. With both of those two, I was like, oh god, what am I watching? So I didn't have that, so that's a positive.
That's good. Out of 5?
I think 2.5.
Okay.
Perfectly average.
I would give it 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, it is not a perfect film, but it's perfect enough.
Yeah, and it's right up your street.
Yeah. Like, imagine...
I can see why.
If you'd have gone to the cinema and this was on, well, you wouldn't have liked it. You'd have been like, Liam needs to go and see this.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And that's the thing about this podcast. We both come from different perspectives with different tastes. Sometimes they work in unison, sometimes they don't.
And sometimes when they don't, we discuss it reasonably and come to understand each other's views, and sometimes we just fall out.
Yeah, surprisingly, that's not what we've done this time.
It's weird, isn't it? I think I'm more willing to talk to you about it if I don't hate it.
Yeah, that's the
thing. If I hate it, I'm then like, why would you like this? Whereas if I'm indifferent, I'm like, I'd like to know why you liked it.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Our conversations tend to go by what mood you're in.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, if you're in a very argumentative mood, then we're
Then we
going
argue.
to have a big argument. If you're more reasonable and mature about it, it goes fine.
Sometimes it's good to have an argument, Liam.
Yeah, but sometimes it's good to have a nice, healthy discussion.
Well, I know that this is one of the films you like, not one of your favourite films necessarily. One of the films you really like. I didn't want to fall out over it.
Well, I'm fucking livid at Kat falling asleep during it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I started watching it and I was like, there was a bit where I was like, I can sort of see why Kat fell asleep, but not a lot. Like, it started then and like getting really into it, and I was like, oh, I'd have struggled to fall asleep.
Yeah, I honestly like. If anyone's listening and they like this film, and you like me, I might be in the market, especially after she hears this episode.
Did she say, out of interest, what moment did she start falling asleep?
It was after the listening booth. I think after the listening booth, before the Ferris wheel, the first kiss.
Okay.
So yeah,
Fair
not ideal, to be honest.
No.
Can I ask what? So obviously you haven't read into what happens next. You're not aware.
Nope.
I have two questions. One, do you think they had sex? And two, what do you think happens next? Because one of the things that I loved when I first read about this film, before I looked into the sequels, is the director said that him and the cast kind of intended this film, before they knew they would make any others, as like a romantic litmus test. It was like, if you're really romantic, then yeah, you think that there's going to be in the future a romantic ending. If you're a bit more pessimistic, then you have this very different take on what would happen next.
Well, when it first finished,
yeah,
I was like, okay, so assumedly they meet up 1 year from now, and then the sort of sequel one will be, maybe they'd have met up but it didn't work out or something. But then after a while, I was then like, I wonder if they would do the story of he doesn't go or she doesn't go, like they meet someone else in the year or 6 months, sorry.
Yeah.
Which I think would be quite an interesting one. And then like, I don't know how they would then meet up 9 years later.
Okay.
I also didn't think they had sex, but now that you've said that, I'm like, oh, maybe she gets pregnant and they have a kid, and then he turns up 9 years later and is like, I have a child.
That'd be interesting. Well, there's only one way to find out these answers, Jack.
And that is to Google it.
No, just watch. It's 80 minutes. It's so quick.
Yeah, but imagine how quick it would be if I Googled it.
But it wouldn't be as good, though, would it?
Seconds.
It wouldn't be as good.
No, I will watch it. I don't know when, but I will watch it. I might wait 9 years, Liam.
We can discuss it on housekeeping.
I'll wait for 9 years. When the podcast's big, we'll do before sunset.
Fucking hell. I think that's it.
Fair enough.
So what are we doing next time?
Oh, yeah. Next time, Liam, we are going to be doing Horizon Zero Dawn.
Which we both played. Well, you played a lot of, and I played a little of.
I've played a lot of, because I've been off this week.
Yeah. I've played a little bit.
Liam's played a bit of, but he's going to play some more. He's been stuck playing another game that we will not mention. I might beep that out.
I got my Gwent trophy at last, Jack. Why don't you let me just tell people that?
You.
Like,
I'm so proud.
I'm sure our listeners are like, when the fuck is he going to get that trophy? And now they're not
I don't
allowed
think
to
they
find
care.
out. Did you say that, right? But this shocked me. On Twitter, when I tweeted from my personal account about playing Horizon Zero Dawn, I actually got a response from one of your friends, Sam, I think it was.
Okay.
Here we go. Sam Pryor. Is that one of your friends?
Yep, that's Sam.
Tweeted me. Well, no, sorry. He tweeted saying, thought I'd treat myself and brought Horizon Zero Dawn. It's like an epic game. And I responded saying, it's a lot of fun. And then his response was, you finished The Witcher then?
I don't think that was him being supportive and caring, though, Liam.
No, people clearly care if I've finished The Witcher or not.
I don't... No. See, now I know Sam.
Yeah?
He listens occasionally. I don't know if he listens to every episode. So if you are Sam, then hello.
Thank you.
Good to speak to you again. He's kind of a sarky dickhead.
Yeah.
Bit like me, sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think what he's doing there, Liam, is sort of joining in the running joke that I have with you, which is, please, dear God, stop playing The Witcher 3. There are so many other games for you to play.
I think he's been very supportive.
Okay, well, Sam, let us know. Although he now might, just to be a dick to me,
well, fingers crossed,
say that he's supporting you.
And he might be livid that you've put this rule in that I'm not allowed to talk about it anymore.
Whatever. Well, Sam's going to guest on our show at some point, so...
Yeah.
You can ask him then.
Well, we have a lot of guests that we want on the show. It's just us being organised enough to do that and me having internet.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Because at the moment, this is not an ideal recording setup, is it?
No.
But look, we make do, all right? We don't want people going without.
It's true. We're dedicated to giving you guys the best free content we can. So, Liam.
Yeah.
How can people get in contact with us?
They can tweet us at nerdonnerd. They can email us, nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com. They could Facebook us if you go to facebook.com/nerd.
Nerd on Nerd.
Is this the one with the dashes in it or no?
No, it hasn't got the dashes. It's just Nerd on Nerd Pod, all one word.
Do that if you want to message us on Facebook. You can YouTube us. If you search Nerd on Nerd, it might come up. Try it like Nerd on Nerd 3 words, then try it all as one word, and then as a last resort, try Nerd on Nerd Fleshlight.
I like the fact that to get us on YouTube, you have to have 3 attempts. And they get a little bit worse each time.
If you follow us on Twitter and I have internet back, I'll be posting our YouTube videos on there as they go up, so you could find our channel from that.
Yeah, the YouTube is a little bit behind at the moment because our video editor Supreme hasn't had internet.
Yeah, which makes life difficult. The thing is, as well, the more subscribers we get on YouTube, the easier it will be to find us. So help your fellow listeners out. We need, I think, when I last checked, it was like 200 subscribers to get a custom URL.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was a low number.
They changed it.
Oh, good lord.
So help your fellow listeners out and help us out.
Tell 200 of your friends to subscribe to us.
Create 200 dummy... No, that's probably not going to
help
our rankings.
Well, don't do that.
No. You could leave us a review on iTunes if you wanted. Yep.
5 stars preferably. 4 stars we'll accept. Anything lower than that, Liam might cry.
Yeah. That's about it.
I think that is. Any final thoughts, Liam?
I'm looking forward to us spending more weekends together on like romantic getaway. Maybe like a nice spa weekend or something.
Bye.
Bye.